Hi everyone, my name is Trent and I live and travel out of my van all across North America, and along my travels I often stumble upon creepy, abandoned, or even haunted places. And today I am traveling through the mountains of Colorado, specifically on a road called Phantom Canyon Road. This is a road that was once a railroad system in the 1800s that transported passengers and gold from Canyon City to Victor, Colorado. And while that general synopsis may not sound very spooky to you, there is a reason why the locals call this road Phantom Canyon Road. And today I'm going to explore some of those stories while I camp in this supposed haunted forest alone. Okay, it is officially nighttime and I hate driving at night, specifically on windy, remote dirt roads in the middle of the night. And this road in particular has a lot of cliff edges, and if I'm not paying attention or I can't see well, I could easily just drive off the side of this road and fall and tumble for hundreds of feet down the mountain. And that is the last thing I want from this adventure. About 30 or 45 minutes ago, while there was still light in the sky, I passed a few spots along the road and I told myself, you know, if I could just keep driving, there's probably a better spot down the road. And that was my first mistake. Oh, there's a turnoff right here. This might be our spot. Okay, yeah, this looks promising. I'm gonna check this out. Okay, I think this is a good campsite for the night. We're right in the middle of this canyon here, and we've got a nice, beautiful, flowing creek right in front of us. However, we are right off the dirt road, but that doesn't bother me too much. I mean, the dirt road is the whole reason why we're here anyway. But before we jump into the spooky ghost stories for the night, I'm gonna hop in the van, set up Starlink, make a quick bite to eat, and then we'll come out, do some adventuring, and see if we witness anything while camping here or wandering on these roads. Millie, you ready for dinner? Yeah? All right, let's go, come on. In moments like this, when I've been driving all day, it is so nice to have meals already planned out, so I don't have to think about it. I can just go to the back of the van and start cooking. And HelloFresh, thanks for sponsoring this video, by the way, makes that so much easier for me because they deliver delicious, chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients straight to my front doorstep, which in my case is either a friend's house or a local post office. And these meals come with easy to follow instructions, high quality proteins and veggies, and it's freaking delicious and feels like it was prepared by a personal chef. And on top of that, these meals are ready in less than 15 minutes, so it's super convenient for situations like this. I mean, look at this. This spicy Peruvian chicken rice bowl looks so delicious, and it was made in less than 15 minutes right here in the comfort of my own van. Okay, now for the best part. let's give this a taste test. Dang, that looks good. Mmm. And if you want to elevate your kitchen yourself, go to HelloFresh.com and use my code THEFINEPRINTTT to get 16 free meals plus free shipping. That's 16 free meals plus free shipping. Thank you, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this video. I appreciate you. All right, finally got a fire going. I was worried there for a minute because it started raining and I was worried we wouldn't be able to hang out outside and sit around a fire and tell spooky ghost stories while I drank some tea. But thankfully the rain let up and we're here on this beautiful spooky night all alone in this haunted forest. So let's tell some ghost stories. In the 1800s, this area, or this road that we drove in on, used to be a railroad system that connected Florence and Cripple Creek, Colorado. It was used to transport both passengers and gold during a time when mining was what kept these towns alive. And supposedly in the 1890s, passengers aboard the train were traveling through this canyon and they saw a man walking along the train tracks in prison attire. However, that man supposedly looked like a man that was previously executed at the Colorado State Penitentiary down in Canyon City a few days before. Now, a lot of the people that ended up in the Colorado State Penitentiary down in Canyon City or the jail in Cripple Creek were often miners that worked in this area. And they found themselves getting locked up for many reasons like public intoxication, theft, or even murder. But a lot of people got locked up due to the violence that ensued after a huge labor strike between the miners and the mine owners. These mining companies in this area wanted to increase the work days from 8-hour days to 10-hour days without increasing the wages, and the miners were not having that. And a lot of them walked off the job, leaving a lot of these mines to shut down. And that's when these mining companies started bringing in non-union workers to work in these mines so they could stay afloat. And that's when all hell broke loose. There were gunfights, train derailments, purposely collapsed mines with people in them, and at one point 15 people were killed when an elevator cable inside one of the mines was sabotaged, causing all of these miners to fall straight to their deaths. Miners even bombed a train depot, killing 13 more non-union workers, and it took years for this chaos to stop. But of course, it finally did eventually settle, but because of all this chaos that ensued in this area, it's believed that this whole area between Canyon City, Florence, Victor, and Cripple Creek, it's all incredibly haunted. And people that come here to camp overnight claim to see ghostly figures that look like prisoners or miners walking among this forest late at night. Which I just got chills saying that out loud all by myself here in this forest. I thought I heard something moving over here. Freak, I'm on edge. Of course I am. I'm in a haunted forest, for crying out loud. Okay, before I freak myself out too much, I am going to put out this fire and go explore a little bit, walk along this road and see if we find or experience anything interesting, because there's a lot more to this area than just this campsite. So let's go explore. Now, even though I'm here for the ghosts and the fear factor, there are some other things and other threats along this road and in this forest that I need to be aware about and smart about. I am in bear, bobcat, mountain lion country, so I need to be very careful traversing this road at night alone. So I do have some form of protection just in case I do come across an animal that is a threat and I can scare it away. And I'm also not going to travel too far away from my campsite. And that's also a big reason why I'm not bringing my dog Millie with me. I don't want to put her into any threat in the event that I do stumble upon some sort of threat. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. I am aware that I am in a very vulnerable state and I am taking the proper precautions. So with that out of the way, let's get to exploring. If I'm being honest, I'm actually really scared right now. And not so much because of like the ghosts, but more so because of the potential threat of stumbling across a mountain lion or something, because that is a very, very real threat out here at night. And they hunt at night. You know, a couple weeks ago, I was camping in a tent deep in the forest, and in the middle of the night, we were woken up to a very terrifying and eerie noise coming from the forest. And the best way that I can describe the noise that we were hearing was that it sounded like a woman screaming in pain, in agony. It was this blood-curdling scream coming from the forest, but it sounded like it was about 500 feet away from our tent. I cannot express how terrifying that was to wake up to in the middle of the night while being in the middle of the woods. But as these screams kept going on, we were sitting in our tent just listening to it and trying to figure out if we were hearing this correctly. Was this really a woman screaming for help in the forest? Like, something just didn't add up about this experience. It didn't make any sense. And the weirdest part about it was like, yeah, it sounded like a woman screaming, but also it didn't. It kind of sounded like something trying to mimic a human screaming for help. And that's what was the creepiest part about it. The cadence was just off. Like, it sounded just like something mimicking a human. But after listening to it for a little bit, we came to the conclusion that it was probably a mountain lion. But either way, that's still terrifying, knowing that there's a mountain lion just a couple hundred feet away from our tent, you know? But to be honest, like, I'm not completely convinced that it was a mountain lion, because after that experience, when we finally got signal on our phones again, we were looking up mountain lion sounds, and yeah, they kind of sounded like what we were hearing, but not exactly. And that's when something darker came to my mind. And I started wondering if what we heard was a skinwalker. And if you don't know what a skinwalker is, essentially in Navajo culture, they believe that there are these bad witches out in our world that can take on the form of an animal or a human or a being of any sort and replicate noises and their mannerisms to lure you out into the forest where you're vulnerable, and that's where they take advantage of you and hurt you, and apparently you're not even supposed to talk about them. And here I am talking about skinwalkers on a haunted road. Oh, why do I do this to myself? Oh, that's right. Oh. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I forgot that this road has tunnels. Wow. This is both incredibly creepy and beautiful at the same time. It's so weird to just like stumble upon too. Like when I was doing my research on this road, I knew that the tunnels were here, but on my way in, I didn't see any. So I just assumed they were no longer in use or something. I guess that's because I came from the north side of the road rather than the south, but this is wild. Like they're massive, dude. Wow. This is wild. It's so big. Man, I am getting the heebie-jeebies from this. And maybe that's because my mind is on the topic of skinwalkers. But that's my own doing. I don't know. I feel like if there were any place that I would... The freak was that? I swear. Oh, it's bats. Of course there's bats in here. It's a freaking cave. Duh. Just really goes to show that fear is all in your mind. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Super cool. Okay. I think I'm just gonna sit here for a bit and just soak this all in. I think this tunnel is really, really cool. I keep hearing stuff, but I'm like 98% sure it's just the bats making weird noises. You know, something I've been asking myself when doing research about this place is, what is it about these old mining towns that makes them so haunted? Other than the fact that, you know, there were a lot of casualties because mining was a dangerous job. And I know it was the Wild West, so there were a lot of gunfights, a lot of violence. And maybe that's it. But something that I find interesting is that in the paranormal community, apparently quartzite, the mineral, holds a lot of paranormal energy. And buildings or towns or places that are built upon large quartzite nodes often experience more paranormal activity than usual. And I'm not quite sure the science behind that or why, but that is what, you know, the paranormal community believes. And that's got me wondering, like, now bear with me for a second. Maybe by digging into these mountains and mining all this ore, maybe they were releasing something, you know, something evil that caused these tragic events or caused these people to do these bad things. And because there were a lot of like gruesome murders back then too. And I just wonder if there's any correlation there. You know, I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks on me or not, but I definitely just heard singing. Like distant singing. Okay, I know for a fact that the camera can't pick it up. It is so faint that I'm like struggling to hear it. And I don't know if it's like the sounds bouncing off the tunnel walls or what, but it literally sounds like people singing. Oh, it's just some other people camping. I mean, makes sense. After all, I am on public land, so there's bound to be other campers along this road. I guess I'm not so alone after all. All right, I think this is a good time to call it a night. I'm gonna start heading back to the van and getting ready for bed. It's getting late and I'm getting tired. Oh, hi, Millie. All right. I want to make me some tea before bed. Some bedtime non-caffeinated tea. And change. Okay. I hope the camera picked it up, but I just heard a thud outside. I just turned on my light outside my sliding door. I don't see anything out the windows. It sounded like something hit my van. I'm like shaking right now. Hello? I literally have no idea what that noise could have been. It sounded like something bumping into my van. Now, I've got my tripod out here that I forgot about, but that's still standing, and my shovel, maybe it slid. Okay, just real quick for peace of mind, I'm gonna go outside and just do a perimeter search. Okay, it had to have been the shovel. That's the only thing that I can think of, because if I remember correctly, the shovel was leaning up against the tire like this, and maybe me moving around in the van made it fall. Yeah, that's exactly the noise that it made. Debunked. Oh, I am on edge tonight. Holy crap. Millie, it's okay. There's no spooky monsters outside. It was just the shovel falling. We're all good. Okay, Millie, scooch over. Good girl. Good job. All right. We can finally relax. We made it back to the van, safe and sound. I got my tea, and I got Diablo 4 to keep me company until I fall asleep for the night. Oh, and I got my puppy Millie right here. She loves sleeping under the covers. Hopefully, I won't wake up in the middle of the night to any spooky sounds or creepy noises out in the forest, but if it does happen, I've got my camera right there, ready to roll, and hopefully I'll capture it on camera. But until then, I'm gonna do my nightly routine of gaming, sipping on some tea, and I will see you guys in the morning. Here you go, Millie. Eat up. Good girl. Wow. It's so much more calm and serene in the morning. It's nice and sunny and warm, much less spooky during the day, that's for sure. It just really goes to show how much of this fear is in your mind. Because in reality, I'm still in the same place. There's still mountain lions, there's still threats, but I'm just so much more confident about being out here exposed like this because it's daytime. Like I just heard something over that way, and at night I'd be freaking spooked. But it's daytime, and I got nothing to worry about, you know? Millie, was your breakfast good? Yeah? You wanna go on a walk? You wanna go walk on the spooky road? The spooky haunted road? Okay, let's do it. Let's go on a walk. It's crazy how drastically different this place feels in the daytime versus at night. It's night and day. Woo. Now, is this place haunted? After last night's experience, I don't really know, but I do know that I was really creeped out. This road definitely does have a creepy vibe to it. And staying here last night was both exhilarating and anxiety-inducing. And to be honest, I think it was all in my head, but I don't know, maybe there's something to this road. But overall, we came, we saw, and we conquered Phantom Canyon Road. And it was a blast. And hopefully you guys had fun following me along on this adventure. If you did, let me know by liking this video. It helps me out a ton. It helps my channel grow and thrive here on YouTube. And if you want to continue supporting me even further than that, I've got a Patreon that you can subscribe to and get access to so many more videos that you won't find here on YouTube. And on top of that, I have a merch store that you can buy some of my cool merch. But thank you guys for your support. Thanks for joining me on this spooky adventure. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.